Does your mind ever feel like a runaway train, replaying past conversations, dissecting future what-ifs, endlessly analyzing situations until you're exhausted, anxious, and paralyzed? This is the exhausting reality of overthinking. It steals our peace, drains our energy, prevents decisive action, and traps us in cycles of worry and regret. We mistake this constant mental churn for productive thought, but often it's just noise. Unproductive, distressing noise. The ancient Stoics, philosophers deeply concerned with achieving tranquility, ataraxia, and living rationally, understood this internal battle well. They saw that much of our suffering doesn't come from external events themselves, but from our uncontrolled thoughts about them. Stoicism offers not a magic wand to silence the mind, but a powerful toolkit of principles and practices to manage it, to replace chaotic overthinking with clear, rational, and focused thought. Today, we delve into 7 Stoic principles to help you stop overthinking and reclaim your mental peace. Welcome back to Stoic Journal, the absolute bedrock of Stoic practice and the first weapon against overthinking is Principle 1. Embrace the dichotomy of control. Epictetus stated it clearly: some things are within our power, while others are not. Overthinking thrives in the realm of the uncontrollable. We endlessly chew on past events we cannot change. What if I had said something? We spin anxious scenarios about future outcomes we don't fully determine. What if they reject my proposal? We obsess over other people's thoughts and actions. Do they like me? Why did they do that? This is wasted mental energy. The Stoic redirects focus relentlessly back to what is within their power, their own judgments, intentions, actions, and responses right now. Ask yourself constantly, when caught in an overthinking loop, is the thing I am worrying about right now within my complete control? If the answer is no, the past, the future specifics, others' opinions, external events, acknowledge it and consciously withdraw your mental energy from it. Focus instead on what you can control, your effort on the proposal, not its reception, your kind actions towards others, not their liking you, your learning from the past, not magically changing it. Mastering this distinction starves overthinking of its primary fuel source, the illusion that worrying about uncontrollables somehow helps. It doesn't. It only disturbs your peace. Redirect your precious mental resources. Overthinking often begins with an initial impression, a thought, feeling, or perception that we accept uncritically as truth. Principle 2 is challenge your impressions. Don't grant automatic assent to every thought that pops into your head. Epictetus urged us to treat impressions like suspicious visitors. Be harsh with it straight away. Say, "Wait for me a little, impression. Let me see what you are and what you represent. Let me test you." Anxious thoughts are masters of disguise, often presenting worst-case scenarios and certainties. I'm definitely going to fail this presentation. That comment meant they hate me. This feeling of dread means something terrible will happen. The Stoic doesn't immediately buy into these dramatic narratives. They pause, prosoché, vigilant attention. They ask, is this thought based on objective facts or on my interpretation, fear, or assumption? Is there another way to view this situation? What evidence supports this thought? What evidence contradicts it? Is this impression aligned with reason and virtue? Does acting on this thought serve my higher purpose, or does it just feed anxiety? By interrogating your impressions, especially the negative and anxiety-provoking ones, you expose many of them as irrational fears or cognitive distortions, not accurate reflections of reality. You refuse to let them automatically dictate your emotional state or fuel further overthinking. You become the gatekeeper of your mind. Overthinking rarely happens in the present moment. It drags us into the murky past or the imagined future. Principle 3 is anchor yourself firmly in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself, give yourself present grace. Why? Because the now is the only place reality exists, the only place you have agency. Worrying about the future or regretting the past happens now, but it prevents you from engaging with what is actually happening now. When you feel the spiral of overthinking begin, consciously pull your attention back to the immediate present. Use your senses. What do you see right now? What sounds do you hear? What does your body feel like? Feel the chair beneath you, the air on your skin. Use your breath as an anchor. Focus entirely on the sensation of breathing in and breathing out, just for a few cycles. This simple act interrupts the runaway thought train and grounds you. Engage fully with the task at hand, even a mundane one. Wash the dishes with your full attention, focusing on the water, the soap, the movement. This mindfulness in action crowds out the space for unproductive rumination. Bringing yourself back to the here and now repeatedly is a core practice. It short-circuits overthinking by denying it the temporal playground it needs to thrive. A significant portion of overthinking involves fighting reality, wishing things were different, lamenting what happened, resisting what is. Principle 4 is practice acceptance, encapsulated in the Stoic concept of amor fati, loving, or at least accepting whatever happens. This doesn't mean passive resignation or liking bad events. It means recognizing reality for what it is, without layering on the additional suffering of wishing it were otherwise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." When faced with a difficult situation or an unwanted outcome, often the trigger for overthinking, the first step is radical acceptance. This is happening, or this has happened. Arguing with reality in your head, this shouldn't be happening, it's unfair, is futile and mentally exhausting. Acceptance frees up the enormous mental energy previously spent on resistance. You can then apply other principles. What is in my control here? Principle 1. How can I respond virtuously? Principle 5. What can I learn? By accepting the unchangeable fabric of reality, including setbacks and imperfections, you remove a major trigger for rumination and create space for constructive thought and action instead of futile mental battles. Overthinking is often passive, a state of being stuck in thought loops instead of engaging with the world. Principle 5 provides the antidote. Focus on action, specifically virtuous action. Seneca advised, while we are postponing, life speeds by. Getting lost in what-if scenarios or analyzing endlessly prevents us from doing what needs to be done right now according to our values. When you catch yourself overthinking, ask, what is the most virtuous or constructive action I can take right now related to this situation that is within my control? Maybe it's making that difficult phone call. Maybe it's starting research for the project you're dreading. Maybe it's apologizing. Maybe it's simply going for a walk to clear your head. Action breaks the paralysis of analysis. It shifts your focus from the internal chaos to external, purposeful movement. Even small steps build momentum and often reveal that the scenarios you were overthinking were far worse in your head than in reality. Focusing on virtuous action, doing the right thing here and now, within your sphere of control, provides a clear, positive direction for your mental energy, leaving less room for unproductive worry and rumination. Act your way out of the loop. Often, overthinking spirals because we fuse an external event with our negative judgment about it, treating them as one inseparable reality. Principle 6 is crucial. Learn to distinguish neutral events from your value judgments about them. Epictetus famously said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them." A challenging comment from a colleague is objectively just words spoken. Your judgment, "They're undermining me, this is a disaster," is what causes the distress and triggers the overthinking loop. Getting laid off is an event. The judgment, "My life is over, I'm a failure," is the source of profound suffering. Failing a test is an event. The judgment, "I'm stupid and will never succeed," fuels despair. Practice describing events with objective, neutral language, separating out your interpretations and evaluations. "My colleague said X," event, versus "My colleague attacked me," judgment. "The project deadline was missed," event, versus "I blew it completely, it's catastrophic," judgment. Recognizing that your suffering stems primarily from your judgment, not the event itself, is incredibly empowering. It means that by examining and potentially changing your judgment, Principle 2, you can change your emotional response, even if the event remains the same. This dramatically reduces the fuel for overthinking. Overthinking often magnifies problems, making them seem all-consuming. Principle 7 offers perspective. Practice objective representation, sometimes called the view from above. Marcus Aurelius frequently employed this technique, imagining himself looking down on human affairs from a great height, seeing the bigger picture, the vastness of time and space. This shrinks personal anxieties and puts problems into cosmic perspective. When you're stuck ruminating on a specific worry, try this mentally. Zoom out. Picture yourself, your town, your country, the Earth, the solar system, the galaxy. See the immense scale of existence. How significant is this specific worry in that grand scheme? Or describe the situation in the plainest, most factual terms possible, stripped of emotional language and dramatic interpretation. Similar to Principle 6, but focused on neutral description. A human being experienced an unwanted outcome in their career trajectory. This objective framing can drain the emotional charge. This practice isn't meant to invalidate your feelings, but to provide perspective, reduce the perceived magnitude of the problem, and stop the obsessive focus that fuels overthinking. Overthinking can feel like a prison built by our own minds, locking us into cycles of anxiety and inaction. But Stoicism shows us that the keys to freedom are within our grasp. By embracing the dichotomy of control, challenging our impressions, anchoring in the present, practicing acceptance, focusing on action, distinguishing events from judgments, and gaining perspective, we dismantle the prison walls. This isn't about never having negative thoughts. It's about not letting those thoughts control you. It's about cultivating a rational, resilient, and tranquil mind, capable of navigating life's challenges without being swept away by unproductive worry. Mastering these principles allows you to reclaim your mental energy, find inner peace, and live more purposefully. You stop being a prisoner of your thoughts and become the calm, rational governor of your inner citadel. Thank you for exploring how to stop overthinking with Stoic Journal. Which of these 7 Stoic principles resonates most with you right now? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this guide offered you a path to greater mental clarity, please like this video and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom for modern life. Stay present, stay rational, stay calm.